Hey guys, and welcome to the J and K Show. This is your Tuesday edition. This is your trade deadline edition of the J and K Show. We're going to cover Monday Night Football last week. Yes, we're Colts fans, and we are fairly happy today. We'll get into that and talk about all the other trades that happened right at the deadline today. So we'll start off first with Monday Night Football. Um, I put in my comment section, why do we try?
I don't know.
Why do we do this to ourselves? We're not even Cowboys fans. And even
Mm.
we, like, it must really be hard to be an actual Cowboys fan because we aren't, and we get sucked into it too. I'm starting to understand why Cowboy fans feel like every year's their year. Because lately, I feel like every year there's something they should be really good at. And then they turn around and they like lay eggs against the Arizona Cardinals. And it's like, oh, they're for real
Yeah.
too.
I tried to tell you they didn't look they didn't seem like a 2-5 team. So they're playing really good and I think they're kind of proving what I was trying to say a couple weeks ago that they're more viable when Jacoby's under center, man. I mean, just Kyler's just not it.
And to think that the two NFC divisions this year, the NFC North and the West, if the Cardinals just figure out one other game, both divisions would be 500 or better. And like that
Hmm.
is sounds like a very loaded side because we don't have any quite like that. We have a couple that are, close, but there's like at least one bottom dweller. And for those divisions to not have a true bottom dweller, it makes those
Yeah.
those races a lot trickier down the line. I mean, today they said Jacoby Brissett will be the starter. And they didn't really say it in a way of like for the rest of the year or anything like that. But then you also get a notification that Kyler Murray is going to be, he's 4 to 8 week injury suddenly. So
Okay.
I'm assuming time served, but it even said in there soft benching,
Yeah.
which is kind of what we talked about with the Vikings, where we thought if Carson Wentz played well, or with the 49ers, if Mac Jones played well, that those other quarterbacks could be softly benched. I like how Sleeper come up with it today if you're a fantasy football fan. Soft benching, where it's
Soft.
like, we're not committed, but we also aren't really trying to change what we've got going lately. You're still
Yep.
a little hurt. You're like 95%. Let's just wait.
Hmm.
What do you take the Jacoby Brissett deal?
I love it, dude. I'm a Jacoby fan. I still kind of wish that we had him here in a way, because everybody here loved him. And when he came in, what he did that year that Andrew gave up on us, um, just was amazing. And
Yeah,
we were very viable until he inevitably, got his knee hurt
you have to
against
remember
the
that
Steelers.
he did not have a training camp.
So
He was traded to us after week one.
yeah,
So
yeah,
you have to remember, like, people just kind of discredit things that have happened. Like,
mhm,
yeah, well, like you see how it turned out, and it's like, hold on.
yeah,
He was like 12 touchdowns and a pick going in through the first 7 weeks, and he was like an MVP
yeah,
candidate, and he had no training
yeah.
camp or nothing. It was like, wait a minute,
Yeah,
he was
yeah, we
actually
were we were what were we 5-2 or 6-1, and
yeah,
then Pittsburgh killed him.
yeah.
It's just which is always the case when we have to go to Pittsburgh. There's always something that happens when we go there.
Eerie to
But
feel like. Hopefully, we're not reincarnating what we just happened last week, but that's a little eerie.
yeah, but it's fine. But Jacoby was a fan favorite here. And if you want to shit on what he did and you say that he wasn't good when he was here, blow it out your ass. He was great for the circumstances that he was facing, and he did very well for us. I loved Jacoby, and I think we all remember that throw that he had. I think it was against the Seahawks. Was it against the Seahawks or was it the Broncos?
Feels like the Broncos, because wasn't Von
Yeah,
Miller coming down on him?
yeah.
That feels like it was
It was
going
just a dime to Ty on the sideline. I mean, it was beautiful. I mean,
just
that's the
fading
one
away,
thing.
40-yard bang to
Yep,
the right sideline.
yep,
Yeah,
yep. And he just shook him off and made that play, and that play has stuck with me, and I know it's stuck with you too, ever since he made it. I mean, that was what, 6 years ago, seven
yeah,
years ago.
yeah.
So, I mean, come on, Jacoby's always been a viable quarterback. You know, a lot of people want to say, you know, he's a backup, and yeah, okay, maybe in this point in his career he is,
Yeah.
but he's come in, and when Kyler got hurt, he's come in and he has played great. He's done good. Their defense has given up a lot of points, but he's played pretty good, and he hasn't done anything to lose games. So, and then last night was just another instance of him balling out, and he was the man.
I gotta say, their defense seems like they have been playing better and better lately.
They're playing yeah, they're getting better about every
Seems
week.
like their chemistry, their cohesion together as a unit has you started to
Hmm.
notice signs of like, whoa, wait a minute, Arizona's like more middle defense, like they're starting to come up.
Yeah,
Um,
they're not just a tea drink.
Yeah. I we obviously we have like a person that will continue to troll Jacoby Brissett for forever because of the falling
Yeah.
year we had Philip Rivers and we just constantly talked about it that season. Um
Hmm.
I'm anxious to see how Jacoby can do for the next few weeks so that we get the opportunity to troll him back because I think that'll obviously be fun. So shout
Oh,
out.
I'll do it no matter what. I don't care.
Shout out, you know who you are. Anyway,
The guy with two first names.
right, Ricky Bobby, you know. Anyway, as far as the game last night, so I'll go through a little bit of the game. Dallas, take points because honestly, even though they had made mistakes in the game, those points would have mattered, and it didn't. They didn't really make sense.
Hmm.
So here's their fourth and goal, right there within about the 5 yard line. They decide, "F it, we're going for it." They don't get it. They could have got a field goal there, right?
Yep.
Couple possessions later, Dallas gets a punt block for a touchdown after being, I think they were down 10-0. They get a punt
Yep.
block. Complexion of the game changes. Now, unfortunately, the Cardinals go and they decide, well, we're going to go ahead and put a couple touchdowns on the board because that made us a little nervous. So now it's like, 24-7, right? It's bad. Later in the game, they get into the same exact spot, and what do? They take the field goal. I'm like, okay, this isn't mathing. How could
No,
analytics tell you that early in the game, go for it for sure? Late in the game, down more than 2 touchdowns, you better get the points.
you
And then
better.
we find out later they got it close enough that that field goal would have mattered. And that's the whole point is you have to believe in taking the points. If you're playing the Chiefs or the Bills or the Ravens or someone with a real high octane offense, perhaps even the Colts, depending on what your defense is, you might want to go for it sometimes. But when you're playing the Cardinals, you would think that the Dallas Cowboys have even an ounce of faith that they'll get some stops on some drives in this game. To me, that told me right away, I don't know if we'll get any stops tonight. And they didn't really, but both teams had 5 sacks. So the offensive lines and the pass rush, the rush was winning a lot in the game, causing a lot of
Hmm.
havoc. Jacoby looked better than Dak Prescott under pressure.
Hmm.
It seemed like
Yep.
every sack didn't affect him, but for Dak, it seemed like it gave him a little bit of happy feet and it just felt like the rhythm for them was off the entire game.
Yeah, he wasn't comfortable for sure. And speaking of uncomfortable and happy feet, I think Deron Bland's feet are still in the end zone. I don't think they ever made it back into the locker room after the game was over. And he may want to look forward to going getting some orthos there, bud, because those yeah, those feet are completely broken off. Another example of DeAndre Jordan face on that play. Just
Ugh.
it
Yeah.
was
All
gross,
right.
man. But what I mean, Marvin Harrison, come
Look,
on, man.
I
Come
mean,
on,
look,
man. He keeps
and
showing flashes. He shows
and
flashes. Now we just need consistency. Maybe he'll get that with Jacoby now.
yeah, I think that a lot of it. the Jacoby thing comes down to the fact that Jacoby hasn't been turning the ball over.
Yeah.
He seems to have 2 or 3 pass touchdowns every week. He has a rapport with McBride. McBride has become the #1 tight end, especially
Well,
like in fantasy. He's the #1 in fantasy now, ahead of Jake Ferguson, ironically, who played in that game. Which tight end looked better to you, right? McBride.
yeah.
Brissett is finding his tight end
Well,
McBride, and Harrison is also impacting the game and spots. And there's a lot of 30-yard passes going wide open to guys like Wilson and stuff too. So, yeah, Jacoby finding the right guys in the right moments. They're not running the ball too bad. I'm surprised that Gannon
no,
allowed DeMercado back into the lineup. I really am. I thought it was Zonovan / Bam Knight's job, but DeMercado must have impressed Gannon with his
ability to take a punch.
whatever shield chest he felt. He's like, oh shit, that felt like a brick. Maybe he was surprised that it didn't give. I don't
Yeah.
know. I thought he was toast
Yeah.
in the far as running backs, but yeah,
Yeah. Well, we say about McBride, you could probably take whoever's playing quarterback for Kokomo and put him in there, and he would have a rapport with McBride. I think he's just so easy to have a rapport with because he's such a big body and his radius is so big that
yeah,
anybody can go out there and just be like, all right, if you can throw it within 15 yards of McBride,
yeah,
I think we'll have success.
yeah. I in the red zone, just in general, goes back to the field goal a little bit. The Cowboys were 1 of 3 in the red zone. The Cardinals were 3 of 4. And I
Mm-hmm.
just feel like if we were going into that game, we know Dallas's defense is pretty suspect, and we'll get into some
Uh-huh.
trade moves. Maybe they got better, maybe they didn't. But ultimately, it's we touted that offense. Like I'm gonna go ahead and say it. I take it back. The Dallas Cowboys are not going to the playoffs. I
No.
got fooled. They are not going to the playoffs.
Well,
That spot probably deserves to go back to the 49ers temporarily. We'll probably do another, video or something about playoff teams here in the next few weeks. But yeah, we were probably wrong for that. And I don't think it's because the 49ers are
mhm.
so good. It's just because the Cowboys are that fucking inept. They can't get out of
Yeah.
their own way.
It's the same story, and then like every year,
How does that
you
happen?
start to believe a little bit.
Yeah.
There's like a spark there of like maybe they got something. If they can get a piece or two on defense, maybe they can make a run. Now, I'm not going to sit here and completely say that they won't make the playoffs because they did make some pretty good moves yesterday and today.
Yeah.
But you know, if they don't get their heads out of their ass, and hear that pop, then it's over for them. I'll give them 2 games to get it figured out. But if they don't win, they don't start their little winning streak here in the next week or two, then they're going to be toast
Yeah.
because you look at it. I mean, San Francisco is going to have a case. Hell, even Chicago may have a claim to that here. Yet this weekend, that's a game that they lose last year,
Yeah.
and they found a way to come back. Granted, it was against probably the second worst defense in the league, but who cares? Their record is still a lot better.
Yep.
So who knows? But yeah, Dallas has definitely got to get it figured out, and
I mean,
maybe they
hell,
did today. I don't know.
you even got Carolina too. Like, doesn't
Hmm.
Carolina kind of look like a better overall team than Dallas right now? At
Yeah,
times,
yeah,
and
and
which
then they
is
did beat them head
ridiculous.
to
It
head.
seems it seems really silly to think, but even so, if the
Hmm.
49ers were to miss, you might pick Carolina before Dallas, and like you said, you might
Hmm.
pick Chicago before you. Hell, JJ McCarthy looked great. I don't think I would go and say pick Minnesota over Dallas, but there's competition there where it's like, why would you just be like Dallas? Like, we do look silly 2 weeks later when we thought, man, look at this. Like, I think they're primed and ready to go, and then they like disappoint the shit out of their
Yeah.
fans, other people that thought they looked ready to go and have a playoff run. They had 2 fumbles yesterday, but they had 4. George Pickens had 2 himself, but his teammates
Hmm.
got his fumbles back. But his same
Yeah.
teammates, Javante and Jake, they lost their fumbles. Now
Yes,
Jake's
they
was,
did.
I think, or was it Javante's? Javante's was real damn close to a forward progress,
Yeah.
but I think because you're only holding him by a foot, you're kind of not rewarding him. The forward progress had stopped because really
Hmm.
he could have easily broke through and got away for another 4 yards and dragging people. So you probably can't rule forward progress since they all he had him by was his like bottom foot leg area, and then they just
Yeah.
poked the ball out. So like I'm fine with it. 3 turnovers to 0 for Arizona. I mean, you can't do that and have your defense be a problem. Like that was honestly one of the more horseshit games I've seen Dallas play this year.
Yeah. Well, for those who got to watch the game anyway, I don't know, they were having some sort of issue between ESPN and YouTube TV or whatever. Like a lot of people didn't get to watch football at all this weekend, so
Yes,
that's disgusting. They better get that figured out because this whole streaming money grab bullshit that the NFL is trying to pull, I think, is going to end up pissing a lot
they're
of people off.
they're rewarding football games like primetime stuff and all of the above to different platforms, and it's making it so that
Mhm.
the NFL fan has to have 5, 6, 7 different platforms to watch all of the games. Or you
Yeah.
can succumb to the NFL Sunday ticket, but that still only takes care of Sunday. You still have to
Yeah.
get streams for the other things. So
Yeah.
they've really found a way to allow the cable TV suddenly to be like, oh, do you remember the good old times when you paid a couple
Yeah.
hundred
Remember
dollars
us?
for cable TV, who was obviously screwing everybody? But they've found a
Hmm.
way to make you pay $20 for every single subscription. It's like, oh, same price as before. Yay.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, I'm ready to bring back cable. You know, I mean, streaming has some conveniences,
Yeah.
but not like this. Not when it's like, hey, we're going to be streaming exclusively on YouTube or Prime or
Yeah.
Netflix or whatever the hell.
Too
You
much
know, I'm
money
surprised they're not going to be streaming on freaking the P Hub, you know, eventually. I mean, it seems like that's what's going to come down to. You know, it's just like,
I
come
don't
on,
think
man.
so.
Yeah, well, whatever
Yeah,
your
right. That's what you want.
particular breed is. But I mean, it just seems like it's, hey, come up with a new streaming service. Hey, we'll put a game on there exclusive.
Would it be
It's
better
come on, man.
if they made their own app called NFL Ticket, literally, and like every single
They
NFL
do.
game? No, just NFL Ticket, because I think they call it Sunday Ticket, and
Well,
all of the Sunday
well, I
games
mean,
are
they got,
there. But what about Thursday?
yeah.
What about Monday? You know what
I'm
I mean? So it's like,
not sure
why
if
don't they
they
just?
allow live games on there or not, but they do have the NFL Plus, so I don't know
Yeah.
if it's live games
It's
or
just
if it's just
people talking
replays.
about the games, and it's like, oh wow, we're watching this game and you're watching us talking. Man, this is a great game. Too bad you're not watching it
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
Like, why would
Like, come
anybody
on,
watch
dude.
that?
If they would just say, hey, get NFL Plus, you know, you can watch every game. Screw YouTube.
Yeah,
Doesn't need to be on there. Make NFL Plus your NFL Sunday ticket. And then that's it. You don't have to do that. If you
unfortunately,
don't like what's playing in your game in your area, get NFL Plus. You can watch every single game live if you want to.
it's like,
Whatever. It doesn't matter.
when you go to Sam's Club, right? And you go and you get the bulk toilet paper and how much money it saves you. If you could split
Hmm.
those toilet paper rolls into 3-pack toilet paper rolls, you start making you a little bit of money, right? For the
Hmm.
NFL, it's not even appealing, unfortunately, for 90 million people at least in this country. And hell, there's millions of people outside the country that would subscribe, tune in, buy NFL ticket plus or whatever the hell. That's not enough money to them because Amazon and Peacock and CBS and Fox and ESPN and like everybody wants to pay for just one game or two games, and it's
Yeah.
millions and millions and millions of dollars every week. And it's like, oh, our money's not good here. They want to put a third party guy in there that pays them, so we pay them. And really, the NFL makes probably 3, 4, 5 times as much as they would have made. And it's disappointing that they would put the NFL at such a disadvantage when we're the reason the product is where it's at. You know, it's
Yeah.
just
Leave it to you to make a metaphor out of fucking ass paper gaskets there, bud. But yeah, way to break it down.
hey. All right. Well, that's all I have for the Monday night game. It was pretty crappy. Um,
All right.
yeah.
Let's get down to the beef.
Let's get to the real deal here, and
Or to the sauce.
the real deal is Colts are going to the Super Bowl.
Calm down.
No,
We need a little humility.
I'm with it. I didn't say we're going to win,
Yeah.
but hold it for a second, okay? This
Hmm.
feels a lot like when the Pacers got a Pascal Siakam, and it
Yeah.
changed the culture of everything. Today, I saw what was probably the best news from the trade, and that is fucking Josh Downs, man. He's like, you got it, bud. I'll take 2 and you can have number 1. And it's like right away, it's like, we're going to Super Bowl. Let's go.
Downsy gave up one.
He gave up number 1 to
Oh.
Andre Gardner, and he's taking number 2 because his brother Caleb Downs
Oh.
has number 2. So he's still,
Oh.
and it's like, holy shit, we're going to Super Bowl. Pat McAfee, buy your tickets. Let's go. We're going. Let's go.
Yeah. Give Josh Downs all the targets. Give him all the targets.
He's a dude.
Um.
He understands the magnitude of this trade
Yeah.
because Pro Football Focus says, and Pat talked about it today. Basically said that despite the Jets being the worst team in the league and their defense being awful, Sauce Gardner is the best corner in the league this year in
Hmm.
ways. Like he is not allowing more than 2 catches a game. That's the worst he's
Yeah.
done is 2 measly catches, and he has got the best cover rate of every corner in the
Yeah.
NFL. So,
Hmm.
and we just acquired him mid-season. Now we're going to go meet
Yeah.
him in Berlin and burn the wall down. Let's
Again.
go. Let's go.
That's right. Yeah. We're gonna be jamming out to some Hasselhoff in Berlin, bud. Yeah. I loved it. I mean, I've seen a lot of people um are bitching like, oh, we got worked, or I think the key word today has been the Colts were fleeced, as the kids would
Oh,
say,
fleeced.
because we gave up 2 first round picks. Who gives a shit? What are those first round picks going to be in the mid 20s, high 20s, low 30s?
You would
I
think
mean, no,
the
you
foregone
can't. We
conclusion
don't
that
need it.
this
We
was
don't
going to
need.
be a 25 or so
Yeah,
or later. Yes.
first round. The only thing you're going to get in the first round is either a quarterback, a tackle, or a stud receiver. Which I don't think there's very many studs coming out in the next year or two. But I mean, Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate are coming out. But Jeremiah Smith's got at least one more year before he's going to come out. Tate might come out this year, but I mean, those are like the only 2 guys that are going to be like elite draftable guys, and they're going to go in the first 5.
Yep.
So there's no chance that we're going to get them. Like we don't need them anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I would rather trade the next 2 number 1 picks, save that money, and then go get you somebody who's proven and a piece that we need. So yeah, and I mean, AD Mitchell, I kind of hate to see him go in the way
I
that he
do too.
did, but I do believe that he deserves a fresh start somewhere else.
Honestly, I
So
think he's
I do
earned
like
it.
it, and I hope he is. I mean, he seems like a guy that will complement Garrett Wilson beautifully.
You know,
I
the
think he will
opportunities
be a
he can
great piece.
the opportunities he can get because Garrett Wilson's on the other side, and
Hmm.
honestly, his natural talent he already has. I'm like, you know what? He's
Yeah.
probably could finish the year by the end of the year, and he'd probably be their wide receiver too. Immediate
Oh, for
like
sure.
by the end of the year, it'll be clear and obvious. Okay, those are our 2 starting receivers going into next season, and
Hmm.
they're going to be looking for quarterback. They're going to be looking for pass rushers. They're going to be looking to
Yeah.
reset their team because they they need a lot, and they're like, we can turn one player into two. They did it all day today, and they're looking at it going, okay, we have to reset our timetable, completely reset
Hmm.
it, because where we're at now, we'll be paying a lot of money to these guys when we finally find the right guys, and we'll make our cap situation more difficult. They're not close to winning right now, so it makes sense. But gosh, if I'm more and more surprised This guy was signed in July after turning 25 years old for a 4-year, 120 some million dollar deal, and he was traded by November.
Mm-hmm.
That
Yeah.
is the unheard of thing. Like that they changed their mind and went so whoop. Actually, you know what? Real hard left turn. We're going this way now. Like, wow.
Yeah. If that didn't tell you that I think they're definitely all in on QB next year, um, because they gave away both. They're arguably their top two defenders,
Yeah.
who they were paying a lot of money to, but it wasn't leading to results.
No.
You know, I mean, Gardner was keeping everybody guarded, and nobody was toasting him or anything like that. And Quinnen Williams was having a decent year. He's still a really good down lineman,
He eats
but
space. He does a good job eating
yeah,
space. I mean, that's just what he does.
absolutely. But, offense is where they need to go. And I think every move that they made today was a good one. And it's the first time I've been able to say that about the Jets. They made great moves. I mean, you give up Quinnen Williams, but you get Mozzie Smith. Mozzie Smith, really good.
Mhm.
He's not a slouch,
No,
but
he wasn't getting
then
10.
you get
Yeah.
Sauce. You turn Sauce into A.D. Mitchell and 2 first-round picks. And Dallas gives you a 2027 first rounder and a 2026 second rounder.
Hmm.
You're going to get talent there. So I mean, as long as Jerry doesn't find a way to dick it up.
Hmm.
I mean, he actually made some pretty decent moves for the Cowboys today. But I mean, I think the Jets win deadline day.
Yes.
I think that they made a lot of good moves to set themselves up for the next 2 years.
They
So they'll
made
be able to get some guys.
they made some tough decisions today, right? They did.
Tough
They made
decisions,
some
yes, but
tough
I think it'll set
decisions.
them up nice.
It's
As
hard
long
to
as they don't
believe.
screw it up.
It's hard to believe that they really come to the conclusion that they have to trade Sauce because of how
Hmm.
young he is. It's like, oh my god, this isn't a
Yeah.
28 or 30-year-old corner. Like it's kind of almost mind-boggling. No one even knew he was even on the market. I think the Colts just
Oh,
called him and was like, "Look, we're prepared to give you something substantial," and it just kind of was like, man, maybe we could trade Sauce. I mean, I don't know how it
yeah.
exactly went. Um, Going over to Quinnen Williams to, like you said, a first and a second. He's in the second year of his 4-year, $96 million deal. So they unloaded like $50 million in cap on the two trades,
Yeah.
and they acquired what you just said was 3 first rounders and a second. That's a lot of draft capital to build a young team. They have
Yeah.
their own picks. So now you're talking about having 6 extra picks, or six, not extra, but 6 picks in the first 2 rounds over the next 2 years.
Hmm.
I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot of draft capital.
Yeah.
It's hard to look at that
Yeah.
and just be like, that's not a good idea. They can probably get their QB with their own pick if they decide they want to move up because the guy they want's the guy they want. They have the capital to do that. If they decide they want to trade back and get more assets, like they position
Hmm.
themselves of like, okay, let's admit it, we got to play like these guys who have turned their teams around through drafts. And it's the Bears have done it a little bit where they've turned some assets into something good. They're looking at other teams like, we can't be the Chiefs, we can't be, some of these teams. We don't have the guy. We got to go find the guy. And I mean, yeah, I think that it makes sense, but it's still, if you ask me today, like, I still have a bit of a shock. We have Sauce
Oh,
Gardner.
I do too.
We have Charvarius Ward. We have Kenny Moe. We got Cam Bynum, and we got Nick Cross in our secondary. I don't give a fuck what anybody
Hmm.
says. That's the best secondary in football. On paper, that
Yeah.
is the best fucking secondary on the fucking NFL. Period. I don't give a shit what anyone else says.
Hmm.
Do we have to play that way? Of course. But that is the best secondary on
Yeah.
paper. Period. Better than everyone. Better
Yeah.
than the Eagles. Better than everyone.
Yeah. And don't forget, we got Jonesy back. We
Yeah.
still got Blackman.
We got depth.
So
because of the injuries, we have depth. We're not
yeah.
weak there, and we're not weak at pass rush because we have a lot. We
Hmm.
have 7 guys to rotate on that. Those 4, we have 7 that rotate, and then you've got
Yeah.
2 linebackers. You got Pratt from Anaromo, and you got Zaire. The defense is
Hmm.
stacked. They are stacked.
Yep.
That's why Pittsburgh
Yep.
didn't look very good, and we just got better. The offense has
Hmm.
been top notch. It's like, hey, this is the best Colts team in a decade. Get ready. That's all I'm saying.
Hmm.
Get ready.
Yeah. Yeah. And we've given up a lot of yards through the air.
Yeah.
So we definitely needed one guy that we could have that would just take away your number one, and we got him.
Mm-hmm.
So and Jones did really good against DK on
Mm-hmm.
Sunday, but also Calvin Austin was able to break out a couple. Fryermuth had a couple catches, and um, forgetting the tight end now that they have
Yeah, that guy.
from Miami.
Jonnu Smith.
Jonnu Smith, yeah. He had a couple
Jonnu and
catches, but
Fryermuth and fucking
yeah,
big old boy. Yeah.
yeah. So, I mean, we played a lot better against the pass this week than we had the whole entire year.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, give Sauce is going to need a couple games to kind of adjust to lose defense, but
Mm-hmm.
I think lose defense for him is just going to be like, take that sumbitch out of the game. And that's all he's going to have to tell him.
Yeah.
So just lock him up. I mean, because look who we got coming up, man. We got Drake London, who we got to deal with. We'll have Rashee Rice, we got to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
Nico Collins, we got to deal with. Jackson Smith and Jigba, we're going to have to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, this couldn't have been any better timing to pull something like this out of our ass. And how many decades has it been since the Colts made a trade deadline move that makes us happy?
It shook the world, man. It was the
It
number
shook
one
the
headline
whole
on the
entire
planet.
league. Yeah. And
Like
let me just say one thing. I'll get this rant out so I don't have to deal with it anymore. We bring him in, and I'm so fucking tired of Cowherd at this point. Completely out of the top 10. Fucking why? Fucking why? Because of a one shit game. We would go from 4th or 3rd to completely out. I mean, what's the sense in that? And this is even after the Sauce news came, and he was just like, "Well, man, you got Sauce to Indianapolis. He's definitely going to help out that pass defense, and they're going to be scary." Then where the fuck are they, dude? You know? I mean, you have him. You don't even have us in the goddamn top 10 because we have one stinker game and just completely gone now. So he moves Casey from 1 to 6, I think it was, and puts Denver at 5. It's like, man, come on. That's just bullshit. I mean, I don't know why this scumbag is even still on the air. It makes no sense to me. And don't even get me started about McIntyre. That dude is worthless. He just needs to stick to his little nightclub shirts and get the hell out.
I liked it better on that show when McIntyre was a woman. So
Oh yes, yeah.
it was a
When
much
McIntyre was
tastier.
Joy Taylor, that show was a lot better. And then I don't remember what the blonde's name, Leahy or something, Christine Leahy
She was the
or
best.
something like that. She
She was.
was the best, and she should still be there.
Yeah.
But yeah, McIntyre's a dick. He's just
Yeah.
worthless,
For the
and I don't
viewers
understand it.
they have Philly at 1, Rams at 2, Bills at 3, Seahawks at 4, Denver at 5, Kansas City at
Hmm.
6. This is probably where I would put us for sure is 7. They
Hmm.
have Tampa Bay at 7, New England at 8, Detroit at 9, San Fran at 10. Those are all good teams. It's not like they're not.
Hmm.
Those are all good teams this year. But
No,
it's
absolutely.
hard to understand how the Colts are off the board and Tampa's 7th off a bye. New England,
Yep.
Detroit, and San Fran. For me, the Colts had the best record in football a week ago, and they're tied for the best record in football.
Mm-hmm.
It really doesn't make sense how they're not in the top 10 for Cowherd. Again, I believe it's just bias. As long
Mm-hmm.
as our quarterback's name is Daniel Jones, that'll be that way all year long. They've seen
Yeah.
too much of a guy, even though Sam Darnold's seen ghosts, he's number 4. Even though Jalen Hurts was not really able to throw the ball, he's just a guy that runs, and you can't win a Super Bowl. He's number 1. Matt Stafford has a bad back, so he's aging out. They're not going to be able to do anything. He might be on the move. Um,
And he's a clone.
like Baker Mayfield, oh, he's got no shot. He was a bust draft pick. I mean, you have other guys up here that Jared Goff, he's traded. What a good trade for the Rams. Jared Goff is falling apart. Sean McVay got the best out of him. Like the 49ers, they're just playing back and forth with guys. So if your reasoning for putting the Colts out as Daniel Jones, then that's a bunch of horse shit. Because let's just
Mm-hmm.
pretend that the right system makes the guy awesome. There's examples of it right here. So what are we doing?
Yeah.
What are we doing?
I don't know. I honestly do not know. I do not know. And it's just one thing that really pisses me off about sports media is just all recency bias. It's like you don't take into consideration what's gone on the entire season. It's like, what did you do this week? Oh, well, you guys had 6 turnovers. Okay, well, you're the worst team in the NFL. Okay, well, Kansas City's fucking 5-4. Why are they even sniffing it? You look at every other rankings; they're outside of the top 12,
Yeah.
and rightfully so. Maybe they're not. I don't think they're the, you know, 15th worst team in the league.
Mm-mm.
I don't. I still think Kansas City is a top dozen team.
Yeah, they're gonna make it.
But right now, I mean, record has to matter at some point.
Right.
And
I agree.
Patrick Mahomes just had his worst game, I think, as a Chief.
That's my point.
It's like, and the Buffalo defense isn't outstanding. They're not doing anything wonderful. It's like,
Arguably,
okay, well, he played bad.
Buffalo and Pittsburgh somewhere around the same, right? Because they've been kind of good and then kind of bad, so they're kind of real
Yeah.
mid and suspect. My thing is, if Kansas City had 6 turnovers against Buffalo, would they be out of the top 10? They would,
No.
right?
No, they
They
wouldn't have.
wouldn't.
No.
So at what point do we just say, you know what, Cowherd, you've already pre-decided who you think's the best, and what you do every week is just knock what you think are pretenders out. Why even don't put us in the top 10 the rest of the year? You're a fucking joke. Like
No.
you
I don't
obviously
want to be. I don't want to be in his top 10.
you decided we were the 26th best team probably to start the season. And the fact that we're even anywhere in it and we have the tied for the best record, you've decided, yeah, well, as soon as they lose, knock them out. It's like, you mean to tell me when we were by ourselves with the best record in football that we didn't have a little bit of ground to stay in the top 10, that if we lost, we dropped 7 spots? Give me a fucking break. We had the
No.
best record
Just
in
stupid.
football. So,
Just dumb.
anyway, going back with the Quinn and Williams deal, how much better will even with the Cowboys move before that? They picked up Logan Wilson, who is I think he's a true linebacker, tackling guy.
Hmm.
His best season a couple years ago, he had 80 tackles and 4 interceptions. He still has a couple years left on his deal. He's got 2 years left, paying him at about $9 million a year. And then
Hmm.
you've got Quinnen Williams. So you've just brought in a tackling linebacker, a middle linebacker, and you've brought in another defensive tackle because that Micah Parsons trade did not fix the rush defense like he hoped it would. So where does that put the Cowboys after sending many of their first round picks or many of their picks away, right? First and second, and then a 7th rounder. So they've sent half their draft picks away for next season. So where does that put them
Hmm.
at? Do they look good because they got the picks from Green Bay? So like, do they look Like they have some kind of chance now, or do you think they're not going to fix it in time?
I don't know. I don't know about this season, but I think the Wilson trade kind of gives them that a return of that Van Der Esch kind of
That's what I thought.
style of player,
Yep.
and um, which is something that they I think needed pretty bad. They need a good solid interior linebacker.
Yeah.
Um, they didn't get like pass rush or anything like that, but I think he can give you some of that run protection.
Hmm.
Um, somebody to keep up towards the line, but can drop back if he needs to.
Hmm.
And Quinnen is just he's going to require a double team almost every snap. So I think the two of those guys combined when they just scissor,
Yeah.
they I think they can. It's like adding an all pro pass rusher. If you can just combine their talents and their abilities and the things that they've done and what they're good at,
Hmm.
that's just as good as bringing in a good pass rusher, in my opinion, anyway. So, we'll see. They still have their two first rounds for next year. They still have Green Bay's pick and their original pick. The first round they gave up was a 2027. So
That's true.
it's not going to be damaging. They still have that to kind of mess with. So
Yeah.
it
Jerry
was a hell of a move by both of them.
Jerry kind of said it to where they have this year and next year. So I kind of see what you're saying. Like it's kind of like a two
Hmm.
year kind of plan. Um,
Yeah.
and my guess is that they will not get much better this year, because I don't necessarily think that gives them a pass rusher by having two run stoppers. Sort of, they might in a way. I think they might end up stopping the run a little bit better, but honestly, I just don't
Hmm.
think they're going to stop the pass. I mean, Arizona proved that point. They got 5 sacks on Brissett because he's a guy that'll hold the ball a little bit and be careful. He won't force anything to out of the hand. So for me, I'm like, they're not going to stop the pass. And now I have to wonder if they play a good defense, are they going to be able to score? Which I think is ridiculous. From 2 weeks ago, I thought they were maybe the best offense out there on paper. So
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to get fixed this year. Their picks that they have in the draft could set them up with something kind of nice for next season. They might have a
Hmm.
run, but it's not going to happen this year. They're just missing too much. They just underestimated how much losing Micah Parsons would hurt. If you think about it,
Yeah.
if they had just kept freaking Micah Parsons and made this deal, I think they would probably be in a completely different situation. Sometimes, Jerry, you're one move away, and sometimes it's the move you made before that screwed you, even though you might have,
Yeah.
if you just didn't make that move, then it's like, oh, holy crap, they actually look really good. They could be like, 6-3, but they're not, and you dug yourself a hole that you're now trying to climb out of. But maybe next year, maybe next.
Yeah. I think that they'll improve a little bit this year. I mean,
A little
it's
bit.
those two are too good to not make you better. And if they don't get better, then I mean, I think Eberflus just needs to get kicked out of the building and have all of his credentials pulled.
Yeah.
So this is his second stint in Dallas. So
Yeah.
I mean, he's a good D coordinator. I'm not going to take that away from him.
But
But if
whatever
you
he's
can't
done ain't
figure it
working.
out,
I mean,
it's not working anymore. Yeah. So Deron Bland doesn't look like Deron Bland from 2 years ago. Diggs, who knows what the hell happened to him? It's like him and Stephon traded bodies.
yeah.
You used to be Stephon Diggs was the immature kind of just yacker who would make a good play here and there. But I mean, he's not doing really anything. So I think that they're at least their run defense should improve a little bit. Maybe Quinnen can add some pressure and it frees up, Clark to make a little bit more noise because they're gonna have to put more attention on Quinnen.
Yeah.
But I think Dallas is really setting up for next season. They're not. I don't think they're too concerned about this year because They're not going to compete to get anywhere near Philadelphia.
Yeah.
And Philly's probably going to be the only team from that division to do anything and go to the playoffs. So I think that maybe Jerry saw the writing on the wall because he's not a stupid guy.
No.
He's not stupid. He's just ignorant sometimes, but I think even he sees the writing on the wall and is just like, well, the boys ain't just doing nothing this year. We be set up for next year. So do it. Yeah, by all means, do it. And if you can get it right and you can bring back, give Quinnen and Wilson a good offseason in the system, turn your draft picks into good guys. I think they need to definitely figure out safety and corner going into next year. Their line is still solid, but they may need to look for like right guard, right tackle. Um, but if they can turn a good draft next year, maybe even in free agency, pick up a piece here and there, they could be in competition for the division maybe next year. But I don't see it coming this year. So
Hmm.
yeah, I'm not willing to sit there and say they'll figure it out. But I mean, time will only tell. It could end up being a genius move that turns their season around and they can compete for a wild card spot. But I just don't see it.
No, I don't see it either.
You
Yeah, they're just falling out.
fighting off some sleepy time none nights there, buddy?
It just hit me while I was talking. Anyway, um, we'll go down the list with
Woohoo!
some of these other or not draft trade moves that we had. So the Chicago Bears, they've been having some pass rushing problems. They brought in Joe Tryon Shoyinka for just like a little late round draft pick. I'm not real sure that this is going to do much of anything for them. It does give them another guy, but he seems like to be the kind of guy averaging about a sack every 3 games, and he gets what are we doing? And he
Getting a
gets
refill. Sorry.
oh, okay. He gets a sack every 3 games. So honestly, he's looks like more of a 5 to 6 sack a year guy.
Yeah.
That's not really enough to move it. If he gets quarterback hurries or just pressures, then it can
Yeah.
maybe. But he was with Tampa, signed a 1 year deal with Cleveland. Cleveland moves him. He doesn't have a sack this year in
Yeah.
Cleveland.
Well, I saw that name come across here. I'm like, who in the hell is that?
Yeah, he's a former first round draft pick. I would say his best case scenario, he's somewhere between 3 and 5 on the defensive depth chart for line. He's gonna
Hmm.
rotate with them, maybe gives them fresh legs or something. He's
Yeah.
he'll provide a little bit, but I mean, kind of a yawner kind of. He's a 1 year deal.
Yeah.
It's
Not
something.
a
I
needle
mean,
mover.
not a lot. No, he's 6'5", 260. He's a big guy, but yeah, he just hasn't really produced. You never know. Right guy, right scheme. We see these guys change all the time or become awesome at different points. He could give you a Danico Autry kind of situation where he was doing just a little bit here and he turns into being awesome. But I'm not seeing
Hmm.
it. What did you? I mean, you didn't even know heard of who he
I
was.
had no idea who the hell he was. I mean, we don't get much Browns coverage over here, so
No.
I don't, I didn't know who he was. I'm like, okay, well, good job, I guess. But I had no idea who he was. But I mean, it could just be because of the big shock of the day that happened. I mean, it just
Yeah.
makes everything else seem so obsolete. You have Sauce and Quinn, and it's like, oh, it's like, who cares whatever else happened? We haven't even talked to Kobe Myers yet, and
Yeah.
him going and what I think is a good spot for him in Jacksonville. He seemed to kind of get lost in Vegas, and he just went stale. He had a really great season last year, and I think everybody expected him to be the one there this year. Um, but it just never panned out, and you could tell he's frustrated.
He wanted out before
So
the year started when Devonte
he
Adams got
wanted
hurt.
out. Yeah. So he goes to Jacksonville. Granted, it's a division rival, but looking at it individually and without any sort of bias to it, I think he can go there and thrive. I think that's a good spot, a good offense, and maybe it'll get Lawrence out of whatever funk he's been in the last two seasons. Gives him another good catch radius target. So Jacoby, I think he'll do pretty good. He may not be a massive impact this year, but I mean, if he can stay in Jacksonville and they keep him around for a second season, then he could fit in there pretty well, and they can find ways to get him some targets, and that it'll help Brian Thomas. So
Yeah.
we'll see what happens down in Duval.
It was definitely a good move. Just to circle back on the Joe Tryon Shoinka real quick. I remember where I remember his name. I remember his name because he was the rookie defensive lineman Tampa Bay took the year they added Tom Brady and won the Super Bowl. He was their rookie defensive lineman in the first round that they had in 2021. So that's
Still
the
doesn't ring any bells.
most notable thing. He's a Super Bowl champion with Tom Brady, but he was
uh,
behind Vita Vea and just all them other guys. I mean, he didn't play very much.
yeah.
Going to the Jacoby
Still don't
Myers.
know him.
Jacoby
Yep.
Myers, he's got a 1-year deal, I believe. He's on the last of his deal. He wanted out after Devontae Adams. You get him for a fourth and a sixth. I think that's pretty good. He was supposed to be their one. Now he's going to be the Jags 2. It hurts Parker Washington's a little bit, but with
A little
Travis
bit.
Hunter out and when he comes back now, you got Travis Hunter that you can play him defense and not feel like you have to play him on offense. Now you feel like he's very flexible with Travis Hunter. And then Brian Thomas
Yeah.
did take a little injury, and so you're kind of needing Jacoby to kind of work himself in immediately.
Yeah.
Trevor Lawrence, obviously,
Well,
he's always could use more weapons. I think for him, just to help him perform at a higher level. So it makes a lot of sense for the Jags. They've got running backs figured out a little. They've got tight ends aren't terribly bad. So like it makes sense to add a receiver as far as offense is concerned.
yeah.
So I thought it was a good deal. They probably won't keep him depending on what his price tag is, but if he works out very well, maybe they can work a deal out with him. I doubt that he does, but you never know. They've had a Christian Kirk and payday, and then they kind of got rid of him, and so I don't know how they would feel. Guys like Gabe Davis haven't worked out for him. Yeah, I mean, I thought it was a good move. The Raiders, I don't know what they're doing, but I mean, you
They're
can't throw
blowing
to
up.
Bowers every single time, and they should have
Oh,
got
they'll
rid of
try.
Mitchell because they need receiver depth, and now they just Beck and Tucker and just I mean they have no
Mhm.
receivers, so
No, no, they don't. But I think if Jacksonville plays it smart, I think your wide receiver should probably be Thomas. Um, and well, damn it, I'm just drawing a blank.
Travis
Washington
Hunter, Washington,
and Myers, and I think they should only use Travis Hunter like they used to use Chenault back in the day. Just have him come in and just run a jet sweep or run some wildcat backfield
I
formations,
agree.
and just that way you're not burning him out
Yeah,
running on both sides. Let him get maybe 5 or 6 touches on offense a game, and then save him for defense because that's where they need him the most.
yeah.
So
I'm gonna be
now that
honest.
you add Jacoby Myers, you don't need to depend on Travis Hunter so much on offense.
I'm gonna be honest. If you give Parker Washington a bigger role, you need to have either him or Travis Hunter doing some kick or punt returns too. To be totally honest, one of them should be
Yeah,
doing that because Parker's been electric. But if you elevate him
yeah.
and you start taking him away, like right now, he was taken out of kick return. I noticed
Hmm.
because I had him in fantasy. And if you take him out of kick return, then he's got one less play he can give you dynamic wise because he can really break
Hmm.
break one. then you got to have like
Yeah.
Travis Hunter in there for me, because if he goes up the pecking order and
Yeah.
Travis Hunter's getting less snaps, then you got to have him back there. But you can't just leave it to, like you said, like a Chenault type. Like, it needs to be someone who's obviously been doing well. And since we haven't seen Hunter there, it should either be him or Washington. But I do like the feeling that Travis Hunter can kind of be their third or fourth receiver, because then
Hmm.
it gives you that flexibility to, you can have him be the third or fourth corner, third or fourth receiver. He plays at least half the game. He's never quite worn the hell out. It's go in for a couple plays, come back out. Okay, now go in for a couple plays, come back out. And you just feel like
Yeah.
he's providing you something. I kind of think the way their defense has played this year, maybe he should just be on offense. But then I see them get waxed by the Rams and all that, and I'm like, maybe he should just be on defense.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't know.
I wouldn't mind seeing. I think Travis Hunter should probably be punt returner. Because he is a dynamic guy. But Parker Washington is a good return man too.
He is.
But I
One of the
mean,
should
you
be.
don't want Hunter to take any more hits than possible
Right.
or than necessary. So I
And if
mean,
he's
I would
released, he
probably
should.
have him return guy.
If you
Yeah.
don't want him taking hits, he should be your corner. That's how I look at it.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you want to have him do some return work and then play defense. So I mean, because that way, if he's returning punts, then he takes off the whole entire offensive drive to rest and get ready for defense. But you're still getting dynamic opportunities for him, and I think he could absolutely take a couple back to the house if he, given chances. So maybe, Cohen needs to kind of step back and maybe reevaluate who he has where. And I wouldn't mind seeing Hunter being a punt returner, kick returner. I think he would be very valuable there.
Yeah, I agree. And yeah, Jacoby Myers, he's kind of that third down receiver. He's a poor man's
Hmm.
Keenan Allen. He's very capable of getting that 12-yard first down in a key moment. And it gives Thomas, I think it helps Thomas, like you were saying,
Yeah,
be
yeah,
more of that dynamic version of himself. Because honestly, at times, I think the reason he struggled out of the gate, I think there's just a lot of pressure on him.
hmm,
He was the clear one, and I think second
yeah,
year clear one, it was a little new coach, a little bit of pressure. So, and
yeah,
Cohen loves him some receivers, is what I guess part of Cohen. He's real high on receivers. So
hmm,
yeah, I mean, I think there was just a little pressure. Now you have a veteran come in and help. So yes, I like the move for the Jags. It makes a lot of sense.
yeah. Yeah, I think it'll definitely be a help for Thomas. I mean, Gabe Davis was supposed to be the guy to kind of take some stuff off of him, but it just
Yeah.
didn't pan out. He flopped. Christian Kirk, he goes to Houston, and he doesn't have that opening there now. So you know, it'll help, and I think it'll give them a little bit more production. So maybe the Jags can go back to where they were, week 1 through 5.
hmm Another receiver that got moved today, and it made a lot of sense because last year of his deal, Rashid Shaheed got moved to the Seattle Seahawks. And honestly, I was like, they don't need Shaheed, but now
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, Cooper Cup getting healthy. You got Smith and Jigba and Cooper Cup. You got
Mm-hmm.
Horton and you got
Orton.
Shaheed as your third and fourth receivers to take the top off. Man, the Seattle Seahawks are going to be a tough.
All they have to do is run 4 verticals, and they're gonna beat everybody, dude. They have so much speed,
It's
and I mean
tough.
so much speed.
They're going to take the top off whenever. I mean, Shaheed, he was on pace for 900 yards, 4 to 5 touchdowns. They just traded for almost 1,000-yard receiver.
Mm-hmm.
So, and they got him for a fourth and a fifth, which was one round better than I believe Jacoby went for, which was a 4 and a 6. So,
Yeah.
I mean, for what, if you would have said Jacoby Myers to Seattle, I probably would have been like, nah, I mean that's
Yeah.
all right, but he's kind of a Cooper Cup type guy, right? You put Shaheed, and that's like, oh shit, because now
Yeah.
they can hit you for 40, they can hit you for 20, they can. they have all those tight ends. It just feels like,
Mhm.
damn, Sam Darnold, what did you do? You did the right things in life because things got
Mhm.
so much better for you.
Yeah.
So much better.
Yeah. Plus, it's really fun to say his name. It's almost like saying Hashim Thabit from back in the day.
Hashim
For
Thabit.
UConn. Hashim Thabit. Yeah, there's a callback for
Wait,
you.
UConn? What?
Yeah. Oh, UConn. But yeah, I love those names that I believe I don't want to mislabel or anything, but those kind of Muslim names that kind of sound the
Yeah.
same,
Yeah.
first and last name. It's just fun to say.
Yes.
Rashid Shaheed. It's like that just rolls off the tongue and it makes you smile no matter where you say it.
Yes.
But
And
he deserves it too. I didn't even think he was on the block. I figured if they were going to move anybody, it probably would have been Olave or Johnson or somebody. I didn't see him going because like he's like their deep threat.
yeah.
So now it's like if you're Shuck, you're like, well, how the fuck am I supposed to throw to now? Kamara's not going out for
He
routes.
was throwing him the ball
Olave's going to get
so
doubled
much.
now.
I feel bad for
Yeah.
Tyler Shuck because he was throwing him the ball a lot, and it's like,
Mm-hmm.
oh damn, what?
Like, yeah, hey, you remember when you were thrown to him and you had that rapport with him? Do you remember that? Pepperidge Farm remembers. We got rid of him. Like, oh fuck.
uh, and I think about it too. It's kind of like a Key and Peele skit. His name, it feels like
Yeah.
Jervathan, Florida State. Like it just feels like that kind of name. And yeah, I agree. I
Yeah.
got him on a couple of my fantasy teams. I'm a little unsure of what to do with him out of the gate. If he does kick return for me, that'll be nice. I'll get some points for kick return. So we'll
Yeah.
see. I'm gonna have
Wow.
to watch and see what Seattle does with him. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
they didn't even need him. But in a way, it's like yeah, they did. Like because now it feels like awesome.
They
Like now I'm like
you want to say okay, they didn't need him, but they could use him.
yes,
You know, it's like now you got Njigba, who's just I think he's gonna be even more of a threat because it's like okay, well we could probably put two on Njigba and feel okay about Horton catching some 6 or 7 yard dig routes.
mm-hmm.
But what do you do with Shaheed on the other side? It's like oh god, now it's going to be a headache. And they don't I don't think anybody in Seattle even remembers they have Cooper Kupp on the team now, which I'm surprised he didn't get moved if you're going to bring in Shaheed. I mean, because like right now Cooper Kupp seems almost worthless on
I
that offense. So
I think the way if you're designing your four wide on a key third down, I feel like Jackson
hmm
Smith and Jigma could do anything. I mean anything. You're gonna have Horton go out probably fairly deep, right? He's gonna go and do a deep post or streak out. Shaheed is also on this side will also do something similar to that. Couple posts that go out the same way. And then Cooper Kupp, he'll do like a little zig route to the outside or an out route to the outside. And then you could even have your tight end or running back. So when I look at it, I'm like, they have every style of receiver that they need to be a juggernaut effectiveness offensively. They have two different
hmm
running back types. Like they have all they like were like in the room and they were just like, okay, we need this kind of guy, this kind of guy, this kind of. And I think they have all of them. I really do.
hmm
So
Yeah. Plus, you could just see,
Seattle.
I could see, yeah, they're going to be dangerous. But I could see just them telling all four receivers, hey, look, just run four verticals,
Just
and we're
follow.
going to run a quick screen to Walker or Charbonnet and get like 40 yards every time
Yeah.
because they're going to just take the tops off the defense and then just have every like little 7 yard in routes. You know that they'll clear the safeties and the corners out for. And it's like, God, Seattle's going deep. They're gonna make a deep run. I mean, it's just obvious. They have a Super Bowl caliber defense. So I mean, and you think it's just like, okay, well, we added the Saints number 2 wide receiver, and that now makes us probably, I would say, probably the second favorite now in the NFC to make it. I would
Didn't they
say
go
the
ahead of
Phillies
Detroit?
probably still first. I think so, with that move that they made. I mean, and Detroit didn't make any moves. I mean, as many injuries as they've taken, and I would think, Detroit would be in the running for someone, but they didn't do anything, which was surprising. But I mean, it also says, we got faith in our guys, and they should. They should have faith in their guys, but you would maybe want to see them pick up another corner or maybe a safety from somewhere for depth at the very least. But I think with the move that they made today, I have to put Seattle at number 2 in the NFC right now.
I don't know if I could argue that. That's very interesting. I mean, the Rams.
Oh, you can try, bud.
Well, the Rams are right there too, but yeah. Let's talk about who is the number one team, and I think Cowherd may have put them there because of just names on paper. I think that's part of what he done. So one of the acquisitions they did before things broke loose last week, they acquired Michael Carter from the Jets
Hmm.
for John Mechie, who's he's a $10 million guy. He's more of like your third or fourth string corner depth kind of piece guy that
Yeah,
feels like he
yeah.
can give you some nickel or some dime package stuff. So they bring
I
him
would
in.
I would rather have him over Mechie. So I mean, it was a good move.
It was a good move. Then you turn around and you bring in Jair Alexander. Now mixed reviews on that.
Quietly.
Very quietly. I mean, a lot of people are kind of out on Jair. They feel like he's fell off. He might
Hmm.
have, right? He might have. But if you're Philadelphia, 1 year for 4 mil, why the fuck not, right?
Why
If
not kick the tires?
if
Yeah.
the Ravens are like, you know what, we brought him in. This guy ain't doing shit. If they're willing to give him away and they lose what, one draft pick, basically sixth round for a seventh round is like barely anything, right? They did
Yeah. Why
they
not?
they lost one round to Jair exit. Why wouldn't Philly do that? So for me, what a low scale. That's how Super Bowl champion teams operate. They bring in a guy that's like, you don't have to be great. We just want to get every ounce of juice left out of you. Every little bit. We want it. We want it out of you this year.
Hmm.
And he could be a Super Bowl champion. So for him, it's like, yeah, he's going to give you everything he's got. Because if he wins the
Yep.
title, everything he's done in his career was worth it. He's like, it got me
Hmm.
here. I came in. I was one of those guys that come in, helped this team win, Super Bowl champion.
Yep. If
That
they can get if they can get maybe some CJ Gardner Johnson levels from the first Super Bowl against Kansas City
yeah.
that they lost, if they could get that kind of production maybe out of Alexander, then I think it would be worth it.
And watch for CJ Gardner earlier on in the week. He actually went to the Bears. Kind of intriguing to see that. A lot of people were like, "Oh God, you put Ferguson and CJ Gardner together on the same team because I guess was it the one guy last year that was celebrating." What are you
Mm.
looking at me like that for?
Well, Gardner Johnson is the dude that old buddy from Chicago punched the shit out of. He's still there. I don't remember what the receiver's name is, but I remember the Saints were playing the Bears. I think it was a Monday night game, and he got up in his face and was like pulling on his chain, and then he just cold cocked him right in the face. That was Gardner Johnson that he punched.
Was it
So
DJ Moore?
I know it wasn't DJ Moore. It was
Oh,
no, it was one of their. I'll have to look it up at some point, but that's gonna burn a hole in my head now. But yeah, the Bears receiver, that was, I want to say it was 3 years ago, and I think he's still there. So just maybe keep him distance during practice or something.
Javon Wims.
Yeah, I think. When.
Wims. Javon Wims.
Javon Wims,
Yeah,
yeah.
it was 5 years ago. Yeah, he's not on the team anymore.
Is he not there anymore? Ah,
But yeah,
well, admonish me. I'm done.
anyway, going back into CJ Gardner, he gets to go to the Bears. That'll be interesting. I know a lot of people were worried because I think it's Ferguson. I can't remember his name, but he was the one just talking with the fans on the Hail Mary last year and then got fucked over and burnt. And people were
Yep.
like, oh, great, we got these two guys on corner for the Bears. But I think it was a smart ad, veteran guy like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jair was, I think, a smart ad. And then the other move they made was Jalen Phillips. Now, I remember watching him be awesome for Miami. And then one year,
Mhm.
a couple years ago, he tears his Achilles. And it was like, oh,
Yeah.
man, you watch it, do the thing like Kevin Durant and all them. And I remember watching
Mhm.
that going, shit. The Dolphins gave him a fifth-year option this year. And he missed a lot of last season. He missed a lot of the year before because of that Achilles. He's had 3 sacks this year, and his best year was like 8.5. That was a really good move for a third-round pick. And it's like Philly needing another pass rusher. Like, give me a break. That
Yeah.
was an excellent move for a 1-year guy on his 5th-year option to get for a third round. I'm like, man, because he's had 2 years to heal through that Achilles. And he's 3
Yeah.
sacks now. I mean, he's on pace for almost 10. So he seems to be about as good as he was on pace. And you just got him for a third round. And so the
Yeah.
Philadelphia, they got richer, man. They got richer.
Yeah. And I think they're going for a record for having too many Jalen's on one goddamn team. I mean, that's 3 right now.
That is true. It's a lot. It's a
It's
lot.
like, oh my god. And I don't think they spell them the same either.
No,
It's
they
kind of
don't.
weird. Like, okay, well, how many adaptations of the name Jalen do we need to have on one fucking squad?
Yeah.
Weird.
Um, let's see. We got other moves, but yes, Philly got richer. You can't forget about them.
Mhm.
We're missing. Okay, Draymond Jones. He was having himself actually a very nice season for Tennessee. Now, obviously, they haven't been very good, but he had four and a
Nope.
half sacks this year. So, I mean, he was on pace for a double-digit sack season, right about.
Yeah.
He's been getting 4 to 7 every year, and he's a nice big guy. He's about 6 foot, 290. He goes to the Baltimore Ravens. It's a 1-year deal for $8.5 million. He's on right now. He gets away from Tennessee. He's on Baltimore. There's life. I feel like I've seen a lot of
Yeah.
Tennessee Baltimore things. Um,
Mhm.
Derrick Henry, and they played in the playoffs, and it feels like they're always connected. You get him for a conditional fifth. That was an
Mhm.
excellent move. Gives them another guy, another meaty guy. They lost Matabuke for the season. So they really needed to get a
Yeah.
guy like that. They fixed that problem. Baltimore is just one of them organizations. They know what they need, what they're doing. They make a very quiet,
Yep.
solid move for themselves at the deadline.
Yeah. And they go get it. That's a well-run front office, man.
Yeah.
Um, and the same with Philly, man. I mean, Howie Roseman, probably the last 5, 6 years. I mean, he's been hitting grand slams. I mean, Philadelphia, God, I mean, they are so quiet, just a well-oiled machine in that front office. You know, just there's no bad moves, no bad hires, no bad signings.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, God, man, it almost makes you sick how how they can just keep bringing in guys for not a whole lot of money or draft compensation or anything like that. And it's just like, yeah, that move makes sense. And it's like you always look at Baltimore and Philadelphia. It just seems like they don't make bad moves at all. So it's like
They always
I
make
think
smart
maybe,
moves.
maybe the Ursay girls were kind of looking at that and being like, you know what? Fuck those guys. Fuck these picks. We don't need them. And we're gonna make noise. And it's like, okay, I think they got the whole world's attention by what they did today. So
You know,
I mean, kudos to them.
and Chris Ballard obviously is he's the guy also that he gets a
Yeah.
lot of flack for how non-aggressive he is in a lot of situations,
Hmm.
right? He's not the guy that
Well, when
brought
you're
in Trent Richardson one year. He's not the guy that the moves he's made is a 1 first-round pick for a Buckner. He's moved to get a Quentin Nelson with the Jets, but he's never been very aggressive. to go after guys. Those are about as aggressive as he's been. Otherwise, he's like second round picks, third round picks, bring him in. And
Yeah.
it's interesting. I wonder if that Ursay meeting with the family was kind of like, I love my second and third round meat. And then they were just kind of like, good, because we're gonna move them first rounders.
Yeah.
You like
Ballard's
second
Ballard's gotten
your second and
he's
third
gotten all
round.
his hits in rounds 2 through 5 anyway, so
Yeah. Like, you pay it what you pointed out to me today, because it made me a little nervous just hearing the words first rounders. You want
mhm.
to tell me that we're going to pay 3, 4, 5 million a year for a guy we draft in the first round? And what's unfortunate, and Pat even pointed it out, half the first rounders don't work out.
Oh,
16 guys will not work out. They will move on to
yeah,
other teams. Joe Tryon Shoinka, he's been on multiple teams, and he was a first rounder and played for the Super Bowl champions, right? The first year. But he never
yeah,
catches on. He moves to another team. That happens to half the guys every year, and you don't really think about it. We the draft is so awesome, and we glorify all the players because they're all so talented, but they wind up being in bad fits and bad situations, and they don't work out. And you need a guy that can draft 2 through 5. And Ballard has
yeah,
shown that he can do that, which is why he's still here, which is why the Colts are better than they have been in a long time, because he's consistently hitting in that area. And now they're just like, you know what? Let's go get the best corner for two
yeah,
firsts. Let's just go do it.
yeah, and yeah, and I that's what kind of pisses me off when people give Ballard shit. If you look at our entire team, I think 90% of our team are players that we drafted.
Just
And, we had a couple free agents, we brought some guys in, of course.
yeah.
But, outside of Buckner, Ward, Bynum, Danny Dimes,
Mm-hmm.
they're all homegrown dudes
Yeah.
and people we have drafted. So, he's still done a hell of a job. He's put a hell of a roster together. And we've always said we've got a great set of talented guys. We're missing competency at quarterback. That's the only thing we were ever missing.
Mm-hmm.
And we finally got that. And all of the guys that we drafted are playing very well.
Yes.
So it's like that. See, you had that one piece that you need, and finally it just starts clicking. And now it's like, okay, maybe Steichen's not such a bum. Maybe Ballard's not such a bum.
Yep.
It's we're getting it put together, and I think it's consistency is going to be key because we're going to need all those guys
Mm-hmm.
to play their best with this gauntlet we have to finish the season.
Yep.
So it's exciting. It's really exciting to be a Colts fan, I think, right now. And
Yes.
for those who are a little nervous and your butthole's itching a little bit about giving up some first round picks, let it go. Just go get some dude wipes. Take it away. You'll do fine. You know, just relax. Let Ballard cook. He knows what he's doing.
I agree.
Tyken knows what he's doing. Carly knows what she's doing. All the Ursay girls know what they're doing.
The
So
the
just let it
reason
go.
the reason I don't necessarily go, Ursay girls had a lot to do with it. I'm sure they did. But
Yeah.
for whatever reason, this year specifically, in free agency, we went and bought two, right?
Yeah.
Because we went and
Yeah.
got Jarvarius Ward, and we went and got Will
Warden
Bynum,
Bynum.
or Cam
Hmm.
Bynum, sorry. Cam Bynum.
Yeah.
So
I know what you meant.
we we have, if my math is math, and we have 20, 40, I think at least 15, so that'd be 55, another 15. We have about 70 million. Oh, did you fall asleep? We have about 70
Short
million
circuit. Short
dollars,
circuit.
70 million to 80 million dollars invested in that secondary. So
Hmm.
they better be the best fucking secondary
They better
right
be.
now.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, as
those
long as Ogletree doesn't run into Ward anymore, I think we'll be okay.
Yeah, if that happens again, I think we're gonna have to cut Ogletree, and I like him. I do like
Yeah.
him, but he can't do that again.
Hmm.
He cannot.
Yeah. We're gonna have to cut him at the knees.
Also, an idea: Guardian cap might be a good idea. Might be a good
Like I
idea.
said. I've always said once a player gets 2 concussions, it should be mandated that you
You
wear
can
guardian cap the rest of the year.
if you can go on IR for a concussion, I think that's probably where you start the mandates for guardian caps, right? If you have gone on
Absolutely. That's where
IR
I
for
would.
a concussion. So,
Yeah.
hey,
I would say that's how I would look at it. It's like you get a concussion, okay, the first one, you're probably good after 7 to 10 days. You're symptom free and everything. You miss a
you don't have
game,
any
okay.
history of it. Okay.
No.
A couple years
Yeah,
go
but
by
if
and
you
then you
get a
miss a game.
second one,
Yeah.
if you get a second concussion within 4 weeks,
Yeah.
I think it should be mandated guardian cap the rest of the year. Mandated, bar none. NFL talks all this shit, player safety, player safety. Fuck off, you don't give a shit. Mandate guardian caps then for high
Mandate.
risk guys.
We didn't
Yeah.
like the idea of mask mandates during COVID, so I appreciate the NFL not giving out mandates, but I don't think this Guardian cap is literally as big of a problem to wear on your helmet than maybe
Well,
masks and
a
mandates.
guardian cap doesn't take your oxygen away. It doesn't make it harder to breathe.
Literally.
It
And I don't
protects
know.
your head.
I would be interested to talk to players like Jonathan Taylor who have wore them and have chosen not to. Does it feel
Hmm.
weird? Does it kind of you hear a movement? Does it kind of like what is different with it? Because Dobbs he wears
Hmm.
it all the time. There are a few guys out there in the league. Every time I notice them, I know who they are. I don't have to see the number. Maybe
Hmm.
they don't want to be picked out of the crowd. I don't know, but
Yeah. But at some point, I mean, at some point, like I think Tua should be mandated to wear one. He's severe risk,
you
and he's
can't
had several
mandate
high-profile
anyone before
concussions.
Tua, right? You can't.
Yeah, not before him. Yeah, if you're not going to mandate Tua, you can't mandate anybody. But
No.
if I'm a trainer, or if I'm in the league office for safety, it's like I don't want to hear anybody having seminars or meetings or anything and saying, "Well, player safety is our number one concern."
Yeah.
And then let a guy get 4 concussions in a year and you don't say anything about a guardian cap. It's like, come on, you don't really give a shit then. It's like, okay, then be like, okay, either you go on IR or you wear a guardian cap.
You bring up something kind of interesting. I thought about this the other day. For Tua Tagovailoa, when he retires in the NFL, is he going to be remembered for winning the Heisman under Saban? Is he going to be remembered for having that awesome offense with Tyreek Hill scoring 70 on the Broncos? Or is he going to be remembered for the concussions, for the common
Well, I
flu?
think by then I don't think Tua will remember a damn thing.
Oh my God. I knew I shouldn't ask that.
Just give him a colorful box of sidewalk chalk and just be like, go to it, have fun.
I didn't ask what Tua was going to remember. I asked what other people would remember about
Oh,
the
other
quarterback.
people.
Yes. How
Yeah.
will Tua be remembered by others?
Yeah.
Do you think it'll just
I don't
always
know.
be concussion related, like worst concussion we ever seen historically? Like we'll just that'll be what we think 10 years, 20 years from now. That'll be oh yeah, that guy that was like having his hands do stuff and was having his brain just quitting on him mid games from
Hmm.
getting hit. Or will we be like, oh yeah, hey, one of the last Heisman or one of the last championships that Saban had with Alabama, or wow, there was what a great offense that no one else has ever had like more than 70 since the Dolphins that year. Like I
Yeah.
think we're gonna remember him for the concussions, which that I mean sucks for him, but he still has
Be sad.
time, barring more concussions. He has time to do something else, change to another team, different coach. There are other opportunities that he could still have to forge his legacy. I just think that that's how we're gonna remember it.
Yeah. This year I remember him for throwing behind the line of scrimmage 50% of the time. So, I mean, I get it. You want to get the ball out of his hands quick, but I mean, holy shit, you're not going to have any success doing that.
Yeah,
But yeah, I think you're right. Tua's going to be remembered for all the headshots he's taken and from all the reactions to him hitting his head. Everybody's always going to remember seeing his fingers cross up and
yeah.
seeing him struggle to get up and stumble and fall back down. I think unfortunately that's what people are probably going to remember him about the most, unless he can go somewhere else and have a career resurgence somewhere.
Hmm.
Then which I hope to God he does, because I don't want somebody to be remembered for head-on collisions. You know what I
Me
mean?
either.
So, which is just really sad. But right now, I think that's what his legacy is being the guy who failed to protect himself and took one too many shots to the head, and everybody's going to always remember those images of him down on the field having all those reactions. So
Yeah.
I hope for his sake, and his family's sake, that he's able to go somewhere where he can be protected and have somewhat of a resurgence in his career, maybe make playoffs a couple times. But I don't see him winning titles, but if he could definitely lead a team to the playoffs, I think that would help kind of get his career back on track.
Yeah. I agree. There's one other trade that we haven't discussed. It came in at the very last second, actually. Adam Schefter at like was it 3:55 or 2:55?
50,
I think the
yeah,
it was 4 o'clock deadline, right? So it was 3:55.
yeah, 355.
The Saints traded Trevor Penning, the offensive tackle, to the Chargers because Joe Alt is going to be officially out for the season. His ankle will not get right, and he's going to be out the year. And they decided, well, we better go get a tackle from somebody. He is in the
Yeah.
final year of his rookie deal. Um, they got him for a sixth round pick, pretty good value for a replacement to Alt. I don't
Oh yeah.
think he's all that good. He kind of looks more like a right tackle. I was going to ask you, do you know, was Alt playing left tackle or right tackle?
Alt was going to start the year at right tackle,
Okay.
but then their starting left tackle got hurt.
Okay.
So Alt had to move to left. So I think what they're going to do is probably bring in Boy from the Saints and put him at right tackle and move who they have at right tackle now to left, because
Yeah.
he knows the
He knows the
playbook a lot
stuff.
better. So yeah, at least to let him get comfortable in the scheme. Now, if he feels more comfortable at left tackle here in a couple weeks,
Yeah.
then maybe I do it. But I say for right now, you want somebody who's familiar with the offense to be on Herbert's blind side. So
Hmm.
you don't want to bring somebody in new and have them protect your franchise.
Right.
So I would definitely have him at right tackle for right now at least. Now, if he understands everything, he's comfortable with stuff, and Herbert gets that, hey, yeah, go ahead and put him at the left. I trust him.
Hmm.
But so far they have not had any luck at left tackle.
No.
So I mean, he's better than probably who they have there on there. That would be what? That would be their four-string tackle. So, yeah, but anytime you can replace a four-string guy with a starter who's been playing, he's in game shape,
Hmm.
then I think that's what you'd rather do.
Hmm. I agree. I would say too for the Colts next year, maybe we should draft a tackle just
Hmm.
because I'm a little concerned for Braden Smith. That is someone I could see
Yeah.
us selling down the line, especially when there's teams like the Chargers that are
Hmm.
very needy at tackle. That'll probably happen again
Hmm.
next year. And if you have a tackle you've drafted in the second round that you feel like is getting it and getting it going, yeah, that's the one only disappointing thing from the Steeler game was I did not care for how our tackles played. I think that Ryman played better than Braden Smith. I look at the Chargers
Yeah.
and I'm like, I feel your pain. They probably have it worse than we do, considering the
Hmm.
injuries.
They
So,
definitely have it worse than we do.
uh,
Like I say, I mean, before Sunday, I had thought that Raymond and Smith had both been having really good seasons.
me too.
Um, but TJ Watt will make anybody look bad. You know,
Yeah. My
when he
problem more
decides to
was
turn it on.
Highsmith. Honestly, was like, oh wow,
Highsmith,
Highsmith looks
yeah,
like Lamar Woodley or Joey fucking Porter right now.
yeah, yeah,
This
yeah.
is
Ryman, he was
terrible.
just so he was. I don't think Ryman anticipated him being that fast.
No.
He has deceptive speed, man, and he can move. But yeah, I was not impressed with how our tackles looked, and I think me and you have been on this for at least 2 or 3 years. That, I think Braden Smith was overpaid. Um,
I think the
but
tackles are so hard to
this
find.
year, yeah, and he's done a pretty good job of shutting me up this year.
Hmm.
But you got to kind of look at that because who the gauntlet that we have coming up, and in the playoffs, you're going to have pass rushers, premier elite guys coming at you in the playoffs, and if you can't play better than that, it's going to be a long day. It's going to be a long day.
I was wondering, why don't we just train our offensive tackles to jump about a half second early? Because the other teams are getting away with it, and that
Well,
really would have helped against Pittsburgh last week if we could have got that extra
yeah, see,
jump before we get a little false start action. Like that would have been nice. But other teams are allowed to do it.
yeah,
I just kind of like wonder why we
see
can't
our
do it.
see our jerseys are blue and white.
Oh, right.
We don't have a red jersey with the AFC patch right here, um, or
Oh,
anything like that. So our right tackles are always going to get called for false starts.
what I will say is for the Chiefs, because I'm pretty sure that's who you were talking about. Uh, they're not the only ones. I mean, honestly, I would say
The
every
most offensive, I think.
every third or fourth game that I put on weekly, I will catch their tackle. I'm like, whoa, whoa. And then I watch the next couple plays, and I'm like, this fucking guy jumps
Hmm.
early every time. Like, and they want to tell you
Hmm.
in commentary, they want to be like, they're jumping with the ball, but the rest of the line is actually moving slower than the tackle. So it looks like they
They're
must.
the furthest away from the ball. How the fuck can they see it?
Exactly.
Shut up.
Exactly. Well, they're
They
honoring
can't
the
see.
snap
They're
rule too.
behind the guard. They're at the guard's
Yeah.
freaking waistline. You can't see the ball from where they are. I used to
They're a
play
full
tackle, dude.
jump. Like
You
you
can't
should
see a
see them.
thing.
They full ass jump out. Like they're in midair when that ball's flying. They're in midair. The other guys haven't moved, and they want to say, "Yeah, the other guys just haven't moved yet." But you know,
I don't care. They can shut up. That's such bullshit.
I watched a one game. I want to say it was maybe the Sunday night game. Who was it? Seattle or Commanders was Sunday
Hmm.
night.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think it might have been Seattle that I saw. I was like, well, they sure as hell aren't going to get in. Those tackles are flying off of the line so hard that there's no way they can be beaten. I was like, that's when I realized. I was like, that's how you don't get beat around the edge. You're there
Hmm.
already.
Yeah.
That's
If
the
you
point.
just get there first.
If you're just there and they try to be like, no.
Makes sense.
I think we covered just about everything, though. Colts are going to the Super Bowl. Hopefully, we can win it, but we're going. We're going there. That's what we're going to do. Um, it'll be an interesting Super Bowl. We'll have to turn it
Mhm.
off during the halftime show because we won't understand.
No, no, I don't turn it off. I don't turn it off. I just go take a shit in the shower
Okay.
and
Why does
jam out some death metal while I'm in there.
why why do you take a shit in your shower?
No, 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 no. I take a shit and then shower.
Okay, but we
I'm not
we need
sitting
a little
there. I'm
we need
not
a little,
sitting
a little
there
Jey Uso real quick
dropping
here.
a. No, 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 no. I'm not sitting in there, mud snaking in my hand and throwing it in the toilet from the shower.
You got some
I'm not doing nothing like
I got
that.
I got the poo on
Got
me.
the poo on me. No, I'm definitely not doing
I'll
that.
tell you, hey, we'll rewind it
I
back.
have
I'll send you the clip. You absolutely said I take a shit in the shower. That's fine.
no. I said then shower every halftime every year, until you know what until they have like Foo Fighters or like Metallica or
Yeah.
Slipknot or somebody intrigue me to watch the halftime show. I'm just gonna go into the bathroom. I'm gonna have a nice bowel movement. I'm gonna wash myself and I'm gonna take my time and I'm gonna listen to the Lord's music,
Yeah.
which is heavy metal, and I'm gonna enjoy myself. And then I'm gonna come out and it's gonna be like 2 minutes into the third, and I'm gonna be a happy guy.
You don't want to miss even a second of the Colts if they're there, though. That'll be the kicker for you is actually trying to be ready, or having someone in your family telling you, "Hey, it's over," and you're like, "Yeah."
No. No, see, I work on my time. Nobody tells me when it's over.
You're not gonna miss it. I don't need to argue
I
with
will.
you. Anyway.
I'll do it.
All right. That pretty much does it for our show. We'll be back again Friday to talk predictions. Who plays Thursday night, Jay?
Raiders Broncos, another snooze fest.
All right. Well, we both have the Broncos, so we'll
They're going back to the shitty divisional Thursday games. They gave us some interdivisional games there for a couple weeks to, get us a little bit hard.
pique our
And then
interest.
now they're just going to go back. Yeah, we're going to go back to Miami Jets, and then we're going to get, Tennessee, Houston. We're going to get, Arizona and somebody that sucks. So, puke.
Amazon's gonna feel like they probably overpaid when they get to
Yeah,
these
I can't
games.
wait for Al Michaels to be like, wow, I can't believe we're forced to watch this garbage.
Poor Al Michaels. He deserves better.
He does. He does. So does Herbie.
Yeah. Herb Street, yeah. All right, guys. Well, thanks for watching. And trade deadline was awesome this year. We don't normally have 6 to 8 trades like this. It was an excellent trade
Yeah.
deadline.
Yeah.
Let's
It
have
felt
more.
more like free agency, didn't it?
Yeah, let's have more teams suck. Like enough. Like let's have like 3 teams every year. They suck enough that they're like, you know what? Time to completely overhaul. And you have 2, 3, 4 guys in their prime being traded. Really, not only
Yeah.
just it's not just Colts going for the win or the Cowboys or the just anyone really going for it. It's like you just got a foundational piece to your team. That's
Yep.
awesome. You're not used to seeing that kind of moves on the deadline. So, very good deadline day.
Yep.
All right.
For the shoe, for Jim.
For the
We love
shoe.
it.
All right, guys. We'll see you later. Thanks for watching.